So now I don't say anything. Whatever,
normally,
like what he's saying.
Normally,
whatever you're making on, as long as you're using
yeah.
it properly and it's coming out with the you know, everything's sounding right.
The end result.
Do you know what I mean? It's not really, doesn't really matter what you're making it on, does it?
Yeah, straight.
But I mean, there was a lot of that though, sort of elitist.
Snobbery.
Yeah, snobbery of like, oh well, I use Cubase or Logic, and if you're using this, it's not a real music program, you know. But I mean, over the last couple of years, that sort of argument's just gone right
out the window. Yeah, because all those same people that are complaining about it, their tunes ain't selling in the shop. You know what I'm saying? There's a really and truly, as long as you just make your bits, that's the main thing. I don't care what you use. You
can't even do an intro.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Went to college, studied, went to uni, everything, you get me, like, but still can't do shit. So
I've heard stories about that.
What's the point?
People going out and spending 30 grand on it and they can't even, they don't even know.
My main production tip would be, which I noticed, a mistake that I used to make would be like, pushing, like when you're doing your levels, and that levels is the main thing. Forget all the mastering and the mixing down, because if you don't know what you're doing, you might just smash up what you're dealing with, yeah? So to me, the main thing is your levels, yeah? Everything needs to be low, yeah? You don't want no peaking nowhere, yeah? If you want it to get fatter, the man in the master that does the mastering, he can make it fat for you, yeah? Simple things. When you're giving out your tunes, give them out flat. Forget all the mastering and trying to do things you don't know. If you know what you're doing, that's fair enough, you get me? But if you don't know what you're doing, keep it simple. Everything you do, keep it simple. Your basses, keep them simple. Your beats, keep them simple. Not simple as in like some plinky plonky element, but I mean, don't try to run before you can walk. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean?
I've also found as well, it's good to go into the studio with some sort of idea or plan of what you're going to do, rather than sort of
sit there.
You know, oh, we'll try this. Oh, no, we'll try this. You know, because you could be there for hours, just wasting time, and at the end of it, you're not really coming up with anything because you're just getting frustrated.
That it ain't working.
And the whole session just becomes a whole waste of time. Then, do you know what I mean? So if you go, especially like me getting a bit old now as well, it's not really about just sitting in there and just sort of messing about, innit? Do you know what I mean?
As I said, we got to focus now.
Sort of like, right, I thought of this. Do you know what I mean? I've got this in my head. Let's put it down. Do you know what I mean? So that's something I would say.
We're Slaughter Mob, and you're watching Dubfiles, yeah?
Hello, I'm Pinch, I'm from Bristol. I'm representing dubstep here. Well, I've got a few things going on. I mean, I run a label called Tectonic, another one called Earwax, and do nights here. I've got a monthly called Dubloaded and a biannual dance called Subloaded. The difference between the two is Subloaded's bigger dance, bigger rave, big lineups. It's a bit of a familiar tale, but boredom of drum and bass and a lot of things kind of just weren't hitting the mark, and went down to Forward one night 3 years ago. I saw Code 9 play, and it just took me away, you know, and didn't look back after that. Started a night up within about 2 months of that. Had things running and people coming up here and playing, Loafer, Cyrus, and you know, Vexed, people like that, and just built on that. Started Subloaded with a guy called Blazy, who come in from a grime angle, and just together we put together Subloaded, and the Dubloaded became the monthly for the dubbier stuff. Yeah, Tectonic started spring 2005, and started off with a collaboration I did with a breaks producer called 30 Hertz. And really, you know, I just wanted to kind of get involved. My own production was early days at that point, and I mean, it was just not sounding crisp, and so I got into the studio with a guy I knew how to push the buttons, and we came out with a 12, and then built on there and got a lot of things I had on dub plate from people, and just found a happy home on Tectonic sort of thing. So yeah, and this year has really stepped up for the label. I've done a series of 10-inch releases and just released a CD, double CD, and hopefully that's going to expand the market and take it outside of just, you know, record shops, and hopefully into people's iPods and different sort of thing. The double CD is called Tectonic Plates, and it's got it's 2 CDs. One's mixed, and one's unmixed, and the unmixed is just kind of label highlights, and then the mixed one's got sort of, you know, some extra dub plates in there. There's a lot of big tunes on there: Mystics, Loafer, Scream, all big hitters. I mean, I liked the idea for the name of Tectonic kind of came from, the idea of earthquake bass and tectonic plates shifting and plates, vinyls, and it's just, I'm a sucker for a pun, so it kind of melted into that. That's the concept behind it, really. But yeah, next year looking to do artist albums, random trio album, and try and step it up, and different thing from just putting out 12s and 10 inches and things like that. Just kind of hope it keeps it interesting, My production, I think it's got kind of quite a sort of techno influence in a way. It's very minimal and progressive, sort of some soundscapes and stuff, and I don't know, it's difficult to say really. It's just what comes out of my computer when I've finished pushing the mouse button, But yeah, I've got a couple of remixes I've done for some people that will be coming out, and I'm working towards building an album for myself. I got my studio set up, if you call it a studio, it's just a computer. I've got some monitors now, which has made a big difference, and I just run Fruity Loops, some VSTs and some EQs, and it's just all I use really. It's kind of simple setup. I've got to know it though, and I think it's important that you know what you're using, and I think I will probably step up in the next year or so, try and get my head around Logic or Cubase or something, but at the moment it's all just Fruity for me. I think the Waves plugins are really good. They're you've got some really good EQs and compressors on there. I think that's good for making things sound tighter. Synth-wise, a lot of people, myself included, use Albino, and there's lots of other ones as well. My influences, I like a lot of things. I was really into jungle. I used to DJ jungle and drum and bass, and as I say, I got bored of it after a while, and I actually started picking up on a lot of minimal techno and electronica, and I really got into Rhythm and Sound and Basic Channel and the Berlin outfit that have done some just amazing stuff really. And yeah, I in all honesty, I'd say take a lot of inspiration from my peers in the scene. I think people like Scream and Loafer and Mystics, Vexed, the things that they're doing, I find constantly inspiring. Code 9, all of them, it's a real kind of constant surprises from them lot, Until this year, no, I'd never really played abroad. I played in Berlin twice this year, and Budapest. Played out in the States, did a date in Los Angeles and then San Francisco, and that's with distance I went out. I'm playing in Belgium next weekend and Finland just before Christmas. So you've got a few things coming up. Well, I think, a lot of genres have they've run their course in a way. Not that people can't make good music in drum and bass or good music in house, and these are genres like hip hop, they're going to go on for years, but you're not going to get any more surprises. And I think the thing is with dubstep, it's just it's got that thirst for something different that people relate to. I think it's gone all around the world really quickly, mainly because of the internet, and then it's a lot easier to just pick up on this stuff now. You've got all these sites where you can download the mixes from Rinse and all these kind of things. It's really easy to get your head around what's going on in London because of the internet and because of all the kind of, the doors of communication, MSN, AIM, all these kind of things. It's really easy to get in touch with people and find out, and I think that's why it's really blown up so quickly. I like to think that Bristol's a second home. I'm not the one who said it, other people have said it, and I've got on really well with all the people in the scene, and I've found it a real blessing to kind of work with them, and everyone's solid as gold, and yeah, I'd like to think that it's found a home here, and look on flyers now, and there's lots of mixed eclectic nights, and they've got dubstep in it, and it wouldn't have happened a few years ago. So yeah, I think it's found a comfortable home here. Yeah, there was some good producers coming through. Obviously you got the Hench crew with Headhunter and White Boy and Common as Muck and Wedge. And you've got the one I've really got my eye on at the moment, I think's got some really wicked music, is Joker. He's kind of come from a grime background, but his stuff is original, it's fresh. He's young as well, I think he's only 17 still, but he's making really well produced music that you've never heard anything like before. I think he's gonna be big next year, yeah. I know Plastician's got his eye on a couple of things for release, Terrorism, and you know, I've got an EP lined up as well for Earwax. Yeah, I think he's gonna impress some people next year. It's a funny thing because I think the way through for DJs is to be a producer, and the way it works with, it's not just dubstep, but especially in dubstep, it's all about who's holding dubs. And if you haven't got something different in your bag, then it's going to be hard to get through. So you've got to really, you know, if you're a DJ, I'd say try and put some effort into doing something different, you know, shaping the sound, maybe how you mix it up and what you use. You just got to come with your own angle, basically. As a producer, I mean, you just write what sounds right to you and don't worry about what other people think until, I mean, you need to get feedback off people. I don't mean don't worry at all about what people think, but really you've got to learn to believe in what you're doing yourself. And it doesn't matter what programs you use, it doesn't matter how you do it, you know, you can make good music if you've got a good ear. This is Pinch from Bristol, you're locked into Dubfiles.
What's going on? This is Casper and you're locked into Dubfiles. A little bit about Casper. Been making beats under Casper for probably about two and a half years now. I had various releases on Tempar, my own labels, just Sub Soldiers and Dub Police. Done a remix on Argon, done a CD on Fabric. Who else have I done stuff? Pitch Black, Search and Destroy's label. Remix of Wonder's label, Wonderland. Quite a few good things I'm proud of, actually. This is the thing, I don't like to, if you ask someone else, most definitely they'll say that Casper's got a style, but I don't sit out and sort of try to make one style of music. I've got a lot of stuff that I make, like different styles. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to say one style, but I'm known probably, if you ask someone else, I'm probably known for making like probably dance floor stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like full on party sort of dubstep, like proper in your face, wobbles. Do you know what I mean? But I make a lot of different stuff really. Like if you listen to the Abbott Volume 2, that sums up who I'm about right now. 4 different tracks from myself, and it's just, that is me right now on Sub Soldiers, the new LP. Every single track is what I'm about. So, but I don't like to say I'm just make one type of dubstep. I just make it all. I love it all. Do you know what I mean? Completely love it all. I like the smooth with the dance floor, with the easy listening stuff, whatever. What got me into dubstep is probably the progression from back in the day when I was going down forward and stuff. And I started DJing under Quiet Storm, playing like the break steppy stuff, and then just moved on with the times onto the dubstep, like dubstep sound, like the halftime sound. I've got a label called Stormin', Dub Police, Sub Soldiers, so they're all my labels. So pretty much, I just love the way the scene's diverse, and so I got into it pretty much by just from back in the day, just following it. I progressed from sort of garage, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? It progressed from garage all the way up to where it is now. But everyone's just got their own influences on it. I'm a DJ, that's what I do. I only started making beats so I could play my own, I could go and cut plates because no one would give me tunes. No one would give me tunes. I was like, fuck these, like, I'm going to go and just make my own tunes, you know what I mean, and cut them. So I'm definitely a DJ first and then producer second. But lately I've been just producing when I DJ, I suppose. But that's all good. It goes round and roundabouts, doesn't it, I suppose? Do you know what I mean? Most definitely. Influences come from all kind of things really. I'd say pretty much a lot of my stuff comes from British culture and stuff. I love watching British films and comedy, British comedy as well, like Only Fools and Horses. Some of us do have them on the buses, all the Carry On films. I love all that stuff. So I try and have a bit of fun with what I do. Do you know what I mean? It's just me. That's just who I am. Apart from that side of things, I listen